Smooth 98.1, and that, of course, in the background playing is Keisha Porter and her own take on Grover Washington's Wine Light. Just a few minutes after 3, and I've been waxing lyrically about my special guest this lovely Sunday afternoon. It's the very delectable Kim Scott, who's a flautist and quite revered in the world of smooth jazz today. So, Kim, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me, Bola. I know they know you as the Genie here. Thank you.
All right, Kim, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Good morning.
Okay, kind of like low where you are. Um, Good morning. Anyway, welcome to the show, and it's been an absolute pleasure. We've been waiting for this for quite a while to make sure that you come on the Sunday brunch. Um, I think you're going to take us to the very beginning. I mean, you've had four albums under your belt, so some artists will say, "Oh, she just started," and I don't believe that you just started. You started quite a few years ago, right? Your first album being Crossing.
Crossing over.
Crossing over, and
Yeah.
we would like to start with that one. How did you actually start to play the flutes? When did the flutes become an instrument of choice for you?
That's a good question. So I've always been exposed to music since a very, very young age. My parents were musicians as well. So I grew up playing piano at 3 and violin a little after that. And about 9 or 10, I was introduced to the flute and I fell in love with it. I knew right from, about a week or two in that this is what I want to do. I want to learn everything I can about this instrument. And I just set a path to do that. So I went to school that had great music programs. I went to a fine arts school for high school. I wanted to be a classical flutist. I wanted to play with the symphony. I wanted to be a soloist on stage. And that's what I did for many, many
What
years.
was the magnetism to being a classical trained flautist? I mean, because at that time, classical music wasn't even the in thing.
Right. Yes, that's true. Well, my mother was also a music educator. So she taught music in the schools. And in my home, she exposed us to all types of music. And we used to listen to the symphony at home. I
Oh,
know that's odd, especially for an African American family back in the day. But we have many families that love that genre. So I would listen to the Boston Pops when I was in 5th grade. I would listen to the New York Phil, and I would watch, recordings look at videos of them, and I just fell in love with the sound of the orchestra. And combine that with just loving to perform and loving the flute. That is what I wanted to do. So yeah, I went to college and got degrees in flute performance. I ended up auditioning for a symphony, and I still play with that symphony to this day. So that's how I got started. I just really fell in love with that instrument, the sound of it, the feel for it. What I was able to communicate to people through that instrument, and it's given me and a lot of people a lot of joy.
mm. Now, in the world of smooth jazz, the flute is one of the very few instruments that is given a lot of prominence. I mean, there are a lot of ladies who have come into that sphere now, and we're talking about saxophonists. We got one or two harpists, a couple of violinists, and some flautists as well. Now, how do you see yourself with the other flautists who are in the industry now? You got yourself, there's Reagan Whiteside, who's there as well. I mean, what is everyone seems to have their own style.
Yeah, you have a great ear, so I know you know. First of all, shout out to Althea and Reagan. They're friends of mine. I have a lot of respect for them. I grew up listening to their music as well. I mean, we're all different ages, but I just have a lot of respect for what they've done in the industry to help the flute have a voice in jazz. But it is interesting because we do all have our own unique sound, and I think that's the beautiful part about it, that we all have room in this genre. If you put on all 3 of our records, you can distinctively hear who is who.
Yeah,
by
I
the
mean, if I
tone, by the
put on
groove.
your album, I would know that. Oh, that's Kim. Oh, that's Reagan.
Yeah,
Oh, that's Althea.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and
I love that.
of all the three of you, both Reagan and Althea have been on the show, so you joined the gang now.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Glad to be in the number.
But what we
But
what
I hope that people, I hope that people also realize, that each of us has a different voice and a voice that is relevant in jazz. And just thank you to the fans. Thank you to you for playing the music, and thanks to the fans for being so faithful, in listening and supporting my music all these years.
Okay, what we're gonna do? We're gonna play a track off your very first album. I think it's one of my favorites. There are a few that I like. This one's called "Take It to the Rink." Now, how did you come up with that particular title? Take it to the rink.
Well, take it to the rink. So I was driving down the highway one day and the melody came to mind. And it reminded me of times when I would go roller skating with my father. My father was big into going to the rink when when we were younger, teaching us how to skate. And I always remember that the music played at the skating rink was always so funky. It
Mm.
would put you in a great spirit, a great mood. It was energetic. And it just took me back to that moment. So I couldn't name it anything other than Take It to the Ring.
Take it to the rink. Okay, well, that's what we're going to play now. Then we come back, we talk some more. And we also look at the future, your new album and new tracks that are coming out very soon indeed. Smooth 98.1, of course, it's the Sunday Brunch with a Genie. And we got Kim Scott, our very special guest this lovely afternoon. It's 3:15 in the afternoon right here. 8:15 over there, CST, Kim's time. And here is Take It to the Rink. Okay, how did that go for you?
That was great. That was
Oh,
great. You're doing a great job.
oh, thank you very much indeed. All right then. Yeah, because I've done so many, and I'm always critical of myself, whether everything was going fine or not.
No, you've got great questions. The sound is great. So
All right then,
awesome
good.
job. I didn't even know it was going to be on your YouTube channel. So that's great.
Oh,
My husband gets to watch it.
that was last minute, but
Oh,
we just had to put that one in there, last
that's
minute,
great.
because the engineer said, "Oh, is that going to be on YouTube?" I said, "No." He said, "Oh, let's put it on YouTube." I said, "All right," and that's why we had that slight delay of making sure that it goes on
That's
YouTube as
okay.
well.
Hey,
So,
you got even bigger reach that way.
yeah, bigger reach as well. Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Hmm.
And I'll be taking questions from some of the listeners out there as well. So when I get questions from them, I'm going to ask you the questions that they got for you.
Great.
Okay? Oh, that's cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
So how is everything with the virus out there? Are you guys?
I think we've been very lucky in this part. Right from when the outbreak started till now, we've not even had up to 2,000 deaths.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I've got loads of friends who've come back home and say, you know what? I'd rather be in Nigeria than be in America right now.
Yeah, the US. Oh my goodness. We're well above 500,000.
We have
Yeah.
less than 2,000, 1,800 and something.
Wow. Well,
And
that's
it's quite funny that
unfortunate, but a blessing.
yeah, it's quite funny that the likes of Bill Gates' wife was saying that in Africa they're going to be dropping dead like flies. Apparently not. No, nothing
Wow.
like that. It's
Exact
quite the
opposite.
opposite.
Yeah, well, good for you all. I wonder if I wonder what it is. What's the temperature there?
Oh, we got pretty hot temperature over here. That's one. There's no winter.
There's never winter?
No winter whatsoever here. Nah. We ain't got no. It's summer.
Wow.
It's summer all year long.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we have no winter here. No, nothing like that. That's one.
So
Two.
just different degrees of summer.
Yeah, different degree. Different.
So sweltering hot versus mild.
Yes.
Mild, yeah. That's nice.
Quite
Okay.
nice. Quite nice. Quite nice. But I think that when we were growing up as well, we I think we built up a pretty good immune system as kids. We had the hydrochloroquine to fight malaria, and all that. So that's been in the system for a long period of time. So it builds up the
Yeah.
immune system, right from when you're a kid to when you're an adult.
Yeah.
So I think that helps as well.
That makes sense.
Mm.
That makes sense. So how is the music scene, the performance scene? I know it's probably different right now with COVID,
Yeah, it's
but do
different right now
you?
with COVID,
Yeah.
but we're hoping that things will peter off eventually.
Mhm.
We've been planning a couple of jazz festivals as well. We thought we were going to have one last year, but because of COVID, we pushed it to this year, hoping that it will happen this year. So fingers and toes crossed on that one that it will happen
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
But the music scene has been pretty good. A lot of local content, and I mean, when it comes to jazz, I'm basically the one flying the flag, for jazz
Mhm.
artists all over the world and in Nigeria as well. So you've had the likes of Huge Groove, Julian Vaughn, Dara Williams, Gerald Albright. They've all been here.
Mhm.
George Benson, all of them. They've all been here.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go back on now.
All right.
All right, Smith, it's a night shift and one. We're back on the grind with my very special guest, Kim Scott. And, we've been talking about her humble beginnings, and she had always loved classical music, and that seemed to be a very great foundation to have as an artist growing up. I think gives you an edge over those who are just coming into jazz, because as a classical trained artist, you got so much discipline that the others don't have. I believe so, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's a grind when you're, studying for classical flute playing or classical music in general. You spend hours and hours building technique and finding different sounds. And I've been able to utilize that quite a bit in the jazz world. And I think that also, it probably sets me apart from other flutists because I do have a little bit of that classical sound that I mix with jazz, and it just kind of makes it a little neat, I think.
Mm.
Um, it's fun.
That's a key identity.
I think so. And I'm comfortable with that. You know what? When I got into jazz, I said I want to be my most unique self, right? I don't want to sound like anybody else. I don't want to have to change who I am or what I like. I'm going to play music that I feel speaks to me, that I want to speak to other people. And thankfully, it has conveyed well. The listeners are enjoying the music and they enjoy what I bring specifically to music and to flute playing. So I really appreciate that.
Hmm. Now, in the background is a track called Spain, which I think was first originally done by the late Chick Corea. Now he passed this year at the age of 76, and I'm playing it as a kind of in the background as a kind of like tribute to the man, because he was one of those who also brought in a lot into the genre of jazz. I mean, when you were doing the cover of this song, what were you thinking of? Because it's quite what's the word now? It's kind of like scary that at the time. I mean, his past song, you were playing a cover of his song and all that.
Yeah, that's one of the standards. I think that he was such a pioneer in fusion, jazz fusion, unique sounds and styles. And since I was creating my first record and I was on an instrument that's not um, most often heard in jazz, I wanted to do something different. Who would expect to hear a flute playing Spain? you know and it's a difficult tune as well, so I knew that if I wanted to make a big statement and let people know that I was serious about this thing, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to put my best out there. I'm going to play a standard like Spain, which is a huge challenge to so many instrumentalists.
Mm.
And I love Chick Corea, so why not?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Why
Yeah.
not? Okay, I mean, when it comes to live shows, right? I've seen a few clips of you performing live, and I see that you always tend to move the crowd in some kind of like way. I mean, it was, some people they will stand in front of the mirror and they'll be talking to themselves like they, pretend that they're moving the crowd. I don't know, how do you do it? I mean, does it come just naturally?
I think it comes more naturally for me now, because I've had so much experience now on the stage. My personality is to practice the art of performing. because I think as a musician, you're not just people are not just hearing you; they want to experience you. They're seeing you to hear you. You
Yes.
know, so I love to engage with the audience. I love getting the audience involved. I want them to feel the music, but I want them to look at what they see on stage and just be filled with joy, and to be excited about the experience. Going to a show is about the experience, because they can listen to your record in the car, or at home. But when they
Yeah.
see you live, they want to hear you and experience you. So I have to try to remember that. And, I have a great team that coaches me up too, because sometimes, I'm human, I can get off, you know. Um,
We all do. We all do.
we all do. But I love performing live. I love engaging with the audience. They give so much energy. I love to sing to them and see them singing with me. I love to play and they're dancing. So there's nothing like it. But I do feel there are moments that are very natural for me on stage. And I guess it's because, I grew up in a family that was always trying to entertain each other. I have two brothers. Both my parents, as I said, play instruments and they were performers. They used to be in a band. So I think it's just kind of ingrained in me already, a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a secondary DNA.
Oh, love it. I love it.
Like a secondary DNA. Now, I mean,
Yeah.
in your first album, there were a couple. I mean, there were a couple of covers, right? I mean, were they your favorites that you chose to cover, or were they recommended to you? That okay, oh Kim, why don't you do a cover of this one? Oh, why don't you do a cover of that one? Now it's like, I love that song. I need to cover it.
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. I chose all the songs, and I chose them based on what would people not think they'd hear a flute play. You know, if I'm going to make a statement like again, on an instrument that wasn't very audible on jazz radio at the time, would they expect to hear a flutist playing Beyonce? No. Would they, think of hearing a flutist play Erica Badu,
Mm,
or even Spain, like we talked about. So what
yeah.
I did is I chose covers for the first album because I was new to the scene and I wanted people to give me a fair listen. I didn't think they would. And at the time, I had a mentor who said, if you do all original works and they don't know your name yet, they may be a little hesitant to try to listen to the music. But if they see songs they already know, they may give you a chance right off the top, and then you win them over with your playing. So
Mm,
I took some of that advice and I chose, all the songs that I loved that were popular, that were huge in energy, and that that would not be expected. And
mm.
I think that worked out pretty well.
Okay. What we're gonna do? We're gonna play another cover from your first album, and it's a song that was done by Chaka Khan. Sweet Thing. I mean, it's a popular song. I mean, when Chaka Khan came to Lagos, Nigeria, to perform, she did that song as well, and people sang to it. So, I
um,
mean, like your mentor said, he's very right. I mean, if you have a cover that people can actually sing along to, and then that will have like some kind of like indelible mark on them, and they'll always remember that. So let's listen to
mhm.
Sweet Thing right here at Smooth 98.1.
I have a message from one of your listeners. Mm, I
So
should
this
probably
this
shout
new
out one of
album
your
that you're
listeners.
working on, can you hear me?
I can.
Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me? Can you hear
Oh, you
me?
can hear me loud and clear.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Oh, what can I hear?
Let me make sure my Bluetooth hasn't kicked off. Let's make sure here. Yeah, still connected.
Okay, you can hear me now.
I can.
Okay, okay, good.
Okay.
All right then. Now I was talking about the new album. I know you worked on Greg Manning on the new single, right? But when is the new album
Yeah.
out?
The new album won't come out until next year.
Next year we have to
We've
wait
got,
that
oh
long.
yeah, y'all gotta wait. However, I'm gonna be releasing songs all along the way. So
Okay,
I won't, you won't be out there without new music. I'll try to make sure there's new music from the album.
okay, because
Um,
I was gonna put on the sad face.
so the album is called Shine,
Okay,
and I'm really excited about how it's shaping up. So I've got, as you said, this tune with Greg that I co-wrote, and I've got Adam Hawley. We wrote some stuff on there. Justin
okay, we need
Young.
to go back on now, right?
Okay, okay.
Okay, Smooth and 98.1. We did hear something called Sweet Thing. It's a lovely cover of a song by Shaka Khan by Kim Scott, who is my special guest this lovely Saturday afternoon. Now, one of the covers that you did, Rain by SWV. Now that was another cover that I no would have expected. Not many people do all covers of those kind of songs. Was it one of your favorites back at the time?
Absolutely. I've always loved SWV, and I've always, I knew that was even a cover for SWV. So I wanted to go way back and try to bring, my own special take to that tune. And it's just a classic. Everyone loves the melody of that, and everyone loves the lyrics that SWV brought to it. So putting that together,
Mm.
just makes for a great tune.
I can only remember two smooth jazz artists who've done a cover of it: yourself and Norman Brown.
Yeah.
Just two of you,
Interesting,
so not
right? I'm
many.
I'm surprised.
Just yourself and Norman Brown. Okay, I
Yeah.
mean, let's talk about your albums over the years and those you have worked with, right? And would you say that your sound has evolved over the time, or you've kept the same sound?
I think I've kept the same sound because it's unique to me, you know. But I definitely feel like I've evolved, um, as far as feeling more and more comfortable in my jazz voice. I think I've really, really come, a long way in trying to say what I want to say, you know. I think by the third album, Southern Heat, I was really, for lack of a better term, no holds barred.
It's
I
more
was like,
like,
look,
let me out this prison.
yeah, like, look, either you're gonna love me or you're gonna hate the music. But this is me. This is the kind of music I love. This is what I want you to feel. This is my sound. This is my technique. You know, um,
Accept me for
and
who
and
I am.
it is what it is. And I think that's even how the fourth album evolved with the title, Free to Be.
Yeah.
I really was trying to preach the message of, be who you are, be yourself, be confident. You're going to be your best person if you are unique to yourself and true to yourself.
Mm.
I'm not going to be the best Kim that I can be if I'm trying to be like, Althea or trying to be like Tiffany or whoever. you
Mm.
know. Um,
It's quite poignant that you say that because I used to tell some of my proteges and people who are looking up to me, and want to come into broadcasting and be a radio host, and I say, listen, be yourself. Don't try and be like anybody else. The moment you try and be like anybody else, that's when you've lost your personality. It's as simple as that. So
it
just be
really is.
yourself, and your personality will shine through, and people will accept you for who you are. So
I
it's
totally
a good
agree.
mantra to have.
I agree.
Mhm.
I totally agree. So
Mm.
that's kind of how I've been evolving, is continuing to be comfortable in my skin and in saying what I have to say
Mm.
musically.
Okay. I mean, I'm going to play another cover, and I mean, when we were in school, they came to Nigeria to perform, right? And we wore clothes that they wore on stage at the time. I'm talking about Lakeside because
Yeah.
we all wanted to
If
dress
I
like
could have been a
them.
fly on the wall to see
Yeah.
those outfits.
So when they performed in Nigeria, we were like, oh, everyone went to the venue dressed like Lakeside just to get incredible stuff. But when you were picking, you're picking your songs and your covers, and you picked that. What were you thinking of when you picked Fantastic Voyage?
Oh my goodness. You know what? My dad loves funk music. My mom and dad were in a funk band before I was born, and they actually had a record deal. They were on Stax Records, and they made quite a few records, and that's the kind of music they played. So growing up, I listened to Lakeside. I listened to all those different bands, and I that's another one of those tunes that I thought no one would ever expect to hear a flute on
Yeah,
Fantastic
yeah.
Voyage. And by that time, when I was doing live shows, I was singing more. So I
Mm.
wanted a tune that was going to get people on their feet, and just have a good time. And, that song does it for me every time. So
Oh, all right then. Yeah,
it's
we're
just
gonna
fun.
play it. We're gonna play it, and I'm gonna be bumping from side to side in the studio right here. And Lagos, this of course is a track that some of you who are old school connoisseurs can relate to. If you are pre 1980, I mean you're post 1980 or your 90s baby, nah, it's not for you. It's not for you. Anyway, here is Fantastic Voyage, covered by Kim Scott. And ride on the Fantastic Voyage. Play it for you. The crew of entertainers, damn to the beat. Come along and ride on the Fantastic Voyage. So you can understand. Everybody happy. jam to the beat. Well, I gotta say, I've been having fun right in the studio, and Kim has been having fun on the other side of the pond, and we've been grooving and jamming two fantastic voice. And I'm sure that Captain Mark Woods would give his seal of approval to that one as well. The man who fronts Lakeside, great stuff indeed.
Yeah.
Now, Kim,
Thank
I
you.
mean, when you started this the fourth album, right? I think is it the third or fourth? Emerge, the one that's got Emerge.
That's from
That's
the
free to
fourth
be me,
album. Yes, Free to Be.
free to be, right? Now I love that track with Jonathan Fritzen. I mean, he's like a virtuoso on the piano. So how did you
Yeah.
hook up with Jonathan?
Jonathan and I met in Birmingham, where I live, years ago. He'd come here with Vincent and Gala for a show. And, I told him then, I said, one day I would love for us to work together. And he agreed.
Mm,
So when this album, when I was thinking about creating this album, and I had the idea in mind of the whole Free to Be, and I really love his groove. He is such a smooth pianist. He's one of the smoothest out there, and he's a great writer. So I just reached out to him. I said, "Hey, I have this idea. I want us to collaborate because I love to write as well." And we came up with some ideas. He went and listened to my music so he could get a really good sense of my style and what types of melodies I like. And he came back to me with the chorus of Emerge, and I thought, perfect. I can work with this. So I lived with that chorus for about a week or so, and the melodies started coming to me, and I started writing the verses and writing hooks, and I would send, what I came up with to him over in Switzerland, and he's over in Switzerland, I think.
yeah.
No, I think so. But he sent it over to him. He loved it, and we just decided to finish crafting it up. And once we were about halfway through, I came up with the title Emerge. And I
Mm,
thought that was just the perfect lead single for the album because it was bold, it was different, it was fresh. And just the opening. I don't know if you've paid attention to even the opening of that song. It's got this awakening sound, and it's right. And I think it just automatically puts you in such a great headspace.
Mm.
But I enjoyed working with him so much. Kelvin Wooten was an amazing producer on the track. My band is amazing. And we just had a lot of fun creating that tune, and for it to be, my first Billboard #1.
Mm.
That's a huge blessing that the record was received as well as it was, because we already loved it.
Mm.
But the fact that the world loved it as much as we did was just
That will be the icing
so
on the
great.
cake.
Indeed.
Mm. Okay,
Indeed.
we're going to hear Emerge with Jonathan Princeton. I'm going to see if I can squeeze in that track, You and Me, produced by Kelvin Wooten as well. I'll try and squeeze that because I love that as well. But let's first listen
Thank you.
to Emerge. I gotta say that's some lovely interplay between you and Jonathan there. It's just sounding really, really nice indeed. Really, really nice indeed. And that's from the album
Thank
Free to
you.
Be. And that's your third album,
That's my fourth.
your fourth album. Beg your pardon.
Yeah.
A little bit ahead of myself. Maybe it's because of the track I want to play next, right? because this one I think was really really funky, was nice, and it kind of like sat in between R&B and jazz, and because it's also a vocal track as well. I didn't know where to put it. I just said, "Oh, do I play it during the jazz show or do I play it during the drive time?" I said, "You know what?
It
Whatever. I'm
fits
just gonna
both.
play. I'm just gonna play it." And and it's called "It's Your Time."
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now
I love that tune.
you love that tune. Now it's really funky, uplifting as well. Bouncy and just makes you want to groove. I mean,
Hmm.
what was all the ingredients that you're putting together to make this tune?
Well, I love uplifting people. There's enough in the world to just make you mad, and
Oh
get people
yeah,
down, and
Kobe being one of
there,
them.
yeah, there's always trouble in the world. And anytime I have an opportunity to be a voice to people, I want to spread hope and love and encourage folks. And I'm an educator by profession as well, so that's part of just what I love to do. I was approached by a friend in my area who wrote this song. Well, he wrote the instrumental track, and he said, "Hey, I really want you to play flute on this on your next album." And when I heard it, I thought, I really love this tune, but I don't really hear flute on it. I hear words. Like
Yeah,
sometimes I'll hear a song and I can immediately think of lyrics, and this was one of them. So I wanted a song to influence people to be ready for their time. Don't sit back idle and do nothing. It's your time. Get out there and do it.
get out there, take a stab at it
There's no
because
doubt about it. Take
yeah,
a
if you don't
stab.
take a stab at it, no one's gonna take a stab at it for you.
That's right. That's right. So that's how that song evolved. It became a vocal tune just because in my head, that's how I heard it.
Mm.
And I decided to sing it.
Okay. Oh, you did the vocals as well. I thought it was
Yeah, I
just.
sing all my own songs,
Oh, you see.
all the background vocals and
Lego, she's a
everything.
woman of so many talents, so many talents.
You didn't know that was me?
I thought it was I knew you on lead, but I thought you had some other people on background.
No, I
And a
sing
lot of
all
people don't do
around
that on
background.
background, but they're on harmonies and all of that. They get other people to do it for them. So for you to be able to do your own backgrounds and harmonies yourself, kudos, Kim, kudos.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, what we're gonna do now because wow, we run out of time already. We're gonna play "It's Your Time," and we're gonna play the new tune. I won't be able to squeeze in you and me because of time. Time, when you're talking, you never know how time flies. But here is "It's
Right.
Your Time," and I'm sure that people out there would love this tune.
It's your time, time for you to step out, leave your cares behind.
when a jam is so good, and it just sounds nice, you're twitching us like, oh, that is so, so good, right? And it's your time. Kim Scott, my special guest right here, of course, on the Sunday brunch this lovely afternoon. And we're just coming to a close on the show. I wish I could just keep you on for
Yeah.
a little bit longer. Uh,
Oh, it's been
but
fun.
hey,
So much fun. You'll have to have me back. We'll do
yes,
a part two.
I would love to have you back. Most definitely would love to have
Thank
you back.
you.
And the thing is, I mean, with live music, live music is slowly creeping into the sphere. I know there are a lot of Zoom concerts and all of that, but I think that's going to be a precursor to actually live shows coming back for everyone in the world. We can't carry on like this because it's not normal. Some people say it's a new
It's not
normal. It's
normal.
not the new normal because it's not normal.
It's not. Yeah. I am seeing live shows pick back up again. I've got quite a few shows coming up, so people can visit my website and see where I'll be next if they're,
Yeah.
in the States
And
or
what's the
in some of
website?
the other areas.
KimScott.com?
KimScottMusic.com.
KimScottMusic.com. Okay, so Lagos, you
Yeah.
heard that? I mean, if you want to know anything about up and coming shows from Kim, you need to go to her website, find out about that. Also, I think Kim's got some merchandise. If you love some of her merchandise, you can also purchase them on the website as well. But before we go, you got a new single out from the forthcoming album, and it's called Back Together Again. And when I first saw the title, I thought it was the cover of the old Donny Hathaway and Robert the Flat classic. And then when I said, no, it's not, because I'm used to,
Very
to
different.
hearing a few covers from you, so I thought, oh, it's another cover, but it's not. And you have
Mm,
my man, Mr. Greg Manning, on production. Now, Greg is a super duper producer. It seems he's got that Midas touch as well. I mean, how did you
he
guys
does.
get to work on this?
Well, I've been a fan of his music for many years since he first came out. And, I'm very bold in reaching out to an artist if I love their style, if I think we would work well together. And Greg knew of me already as well. So once I reached out to him, he said, Kim, yeah, let's do it. So, there was no hesitation at all. And I gave him my idea. I get these crazy ideas. I like already have it mapped out in my brain. Like I said, Greg, I want to write a song. The pandemic's just started. People are so sad because they can't be around their loved ones. It's sad when you can't go and hug your mom, right?
Yeah.
And I said, I want to write a song that's uplifting and gives encouragement and lets people know that soon we're going to all be back together again. And it's
Mm,
going to be one big party. And he was like, I
yes.
love it. So
Absolutely.
that's how we came up with it.
I'll drop one for you. Greg Manning was actually born in Nigeria.
He told me that.
I
I
told
was
you
like,
that.
well, how
Oh,
about that?
in Port
Yeah,
Harcourt. So I'm
yeah.
like, well, I'm going to have him on the show soon. I said, what are your memories of Port Harcourt? Because we're going to claim him as ours. He was born in Nigeria, so as far as we're
Why
concerned,
not?
he's a Nigerian. He's not a.
Right. Why not? Why not? He's not Swiss. He's such a great guy.
Yes,
He's
he
not
is.
just a great pianist, but he has a great ear for production and mixing. And, it was just so much fun writing this tune with him.
Mm,
So I'm excited about it. It's doing very well on radio. It hasn't been out very long, but it's really
yeah.
making a way. So,
Uh,
we'll see how far it takes us, but it's been a great tune to promote and play.
Okay.
And
All
by the
right.
way,
I
one
mean,
of your listeners just messaged me and said, let you know that Prince Yomi
yes.
Siwade is listening, is a fan of mine. Is
Okay.
that is the last name?
Yeah.
Siwade?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Great,
So
great
shout
stuff
out to the
indeed. Great
fans.
stuff indeed. I'm sure
Yeah.
we're gonna have another interview with you. There's gonna be a part two to this, without a shadow of a doubt.
Awesome.
But the new single "Back Together Again" is what we're gonna sign off with, and we hope that when the new album comes, we're gonna have more to play, more to talk about, as well as all the concerts that you're gonna be doing in the near future. So, like I say, Kim, it's a pleasure having you on the show today. It's been fun.
Thank
I
you.
always
It has
always
been.
love my guests to be very comfortable and to be happy to be here. And from all signatures and signs that I've seen on the screen, you are happy to be here.
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much for all the support, for having me on today, for spending all of my music since day one.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And I hope to be in Nigeria at some point to perform live for you
Yeah.
guys. So,
Once we kick COVID to the curb, right? Then of course
yes,
we'll be able to do that. We'll be able to do that. There are going to be loads and loads
absolutely.
of concerts that are going to come. They're just going to, it's like when you cock a bottle of champagne and you shake it and the cork's already taken out, and you're thinking you're going to
It's
stop it
going to
from,
bubble
it's
over.
going to go poof, and that's how concerts are going to happen all over the world. Going to poof
Yeah,
everywhere,
I think
everywhere.
so.
Thanks for coming
I
on the show
hope
again,
so.
and we're going to sign off with this one back together again. Kim, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Shout out to everybody. Hey, follow me on social media.
Yes,
Everybody,
yes, we
Twitter,
we will.
Facebook,
Everyone,
Instagram,
it's K Scott Flute on Twitter
and Instagram
and
and
Instagram.
Facebook.
Yes, we will. We would. Everyone would. I put that one out there as well. Once we sign up, have a super great morning. Still morning over there, and I will speak
Yes,
to you
thank
soon.
you.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Kim, for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. That was fun.
Uh,
A lot of fun. You did
and
a great job.
apologies for the slight delay. We were trying to get it on